So it can be a little daunting to approach editing this documentary, but I'm going to show you step by step how you can get started. Okay, first you want a transcript of your interview footage, and what that will do is give you like a written copy of everything right in front of you, so you know that content, you can read it over and over again, and you can use that to organize and like shuffle everything around when you're editing. And I found a great tool to do this. It won't take hours. It does it actually automatically in like a couple of minutes. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so let me pull up my Chrome. Okay, so you're going to use this program called Descript. And for the first 3 hours of content, it's free. So Descript. Okay, so you're going to press get started for free. I've already done this, but when you do it, it's going to pop up a program that you can download and install on your computer to get this going. So I'll pull up my program that I've been working with here. Okay, so this is Descript, and I'm going to show you what it's like to start a new project. So I'm going to say interview, create project. Bring it over here. Okay, so I've already started doing this earlier, but I'm just going to give you a demo of me doing it again. Let's see, digital storytelling, Sky documentary. So I've been doing a sample of a documentary about my younger sibling named Sky, who's 16, and we talked about starting over. So I'm going to grab this Sky interview video and drop it right here. And this tool is amazing. It actually knows, like recognizes different people's voices within the audio, and you will label who's talking so it can see the difference. Okay, so that's transcription language, English, transcribe. It will be ready in a few minutes. So enter speaker name, detect speakers. Okay. Multiple speakers detected in skyinterview.mlb. Identify speakers. Okay, get started. So let's see.
That makes sense. Did you feel like you wanted to find a friend or like somebody to kind of bond with?
All right, so that's me asking the question. So who's speaking? Speaker is Elizabeth. Right. So
yeah, with some people, there was a lot of like people like me, like that accepted me and like were gay and were mixed.
All right, so that's Guy, who's my sibling, that's the speaker too. Okay, so now it knows the difference between those two voices, and it will label each of us speaking in the transcript. Okay, so preparing. Oh, great. Okay, so it's pulled up right here automatically. Interview. Okay, thank you for doing this for me. So here's your transcript. You can go through and you can correct it if it's written something down wrong. Okay. So let me just press play.
Thank you for doing this for me.
Like, it's incredible that it can do that. All right. Let me just find a place. Let me just scroll down. You can see it's an entire 16-minute interview. So hopefully it will work well for you guys. You can get this transcript going. All right. Let me read through and see if there's something that didn't really transcribe right. Okay, it's hard to, let me play it here.
It was kind of hard to tell because I wasn't out to anyone at the camp yet. I proceeded to be in that camp for
Okay, in that here, it should say cancer, correct? Okay, correct. Camp. And this transcript is only for yourself. So if you don't really feel like correcting it, you don't have to. Okay, so then just read through it. And what I've done, so this is a sample, but I'll just show you the previous version that I've been working on. You can very easily highlight. That's one of the greatest advantages of this. So if you find an answer or a section that you think is really important, you can highlight it with these different colors. Essentially, you're reading through this to try to find the most important parts, meaning the most emotionally gripping parts, the parts that are like really make you listen and pay attention to your speaker. You know, sometimes there are those times in a conversation like, wow, that was really insightful, or wow, that was funny, that was insightful, that was smart, that was whatever. There are sometimes people are talking that maybe it's repetitive, it's kind of slow, it's just building up. And then sometimes people have things they say that are really like gripping. And those are the moments that you really want to use this transcript to find. Okay, so that is an overview of using Descript. And in the next part, I'm going to explain how you can use these timestamps that you've identified in Descript. For example, here, I might say 2:55 to 3:15 is this answer, right? You can use those timestamps from your Descript transcript to make your editing a lot easier. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit more about using Descript and transferring the timestamps and the like important elements into your editing for the documentary. Okay, so let me bring up Descript again. Okay, so here we have again the okay. So here we have again the Descript interview. I've been reading these great answers and highlighting different answers that I could use. And for different sections, I might highlight in different colors. Okay. Then I press File, Export, Project. Okay, so we'll show you this. And I suggest you export as text. All right, and you can do different formats, but I like Microsoft Word. Make sure to click on all these output options, timestamp options as well. And I like to do 15-second intervals. Paragraph breaks, yes, turn all these off, on. Okay, and then press export. You're going to give it a name and save it. And I've already done this. I'm going to open my Microsoft Word version of the interview. And look how fantastic this is. It's the interview, it's the speakers, and they're different timestamps. And it already has the highlights highlighted in the different colors, and as well as the timestamps of all these things. So this is exactly what I need to start my edit. Okay. So what I would do next is start editing. So I'm going to put that to one side. I have two screens and I have it over on one side. You could also just export that document onto something on your phone or an iPad. Like it's helpful to have two separate kind of like things to look at in a way, because is a lot of content on the documentary like interview site. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to open Shortcut, which is what I'm using for my editing. Obviously, you can use whatever you've been using. My computer is a bit struggling with all this stuff. Okay. All right. So over here, I have my interview in my like bin of accessible things. Okay. And so mostly pay attention to this top thing. I've already started editing. But if I use this playhead to scroll through, I'm going to turn this way on. So here's my interview.
Thank you for doing this for me.
All right, and if I bring up my document again, I'm looking for, there's this part later on that's like really great. Okay, so this interview is about starting over, and it's about my sibling moving to Texas, which is like a very conservative area, and them coming out as queer in that space and coming to terms with themselves. So it was a really powerful and great interview. And there's this thing that Sky says at 12 minutes, 20 seconds. I asked, did you ever internalize it when people would tell them you're going to hell for the sin of being queer? And I asked, did you ever internalize that? And they said, no, I always knew that if there was a God, that he, like, why would God make me this way if he didn't accept it? You know, so I knew if there was a God, I don't think I'd be going to hell. Like, that's so, oh, they're so powerful. So I knew I wanted to include them. Okay. So that was at 12:20, right? And you can even see in the transcript when it ends. I was born at this to 12:37. So that's kind of around when I would search for. Okay, so I'm going to use this playhead to go along. And here you can see this is at 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Okay. And I've already made, you can here see your little marker of the section that I've already clipped it out because I've already started editing. But here, because of Shortcut, I knew that at 12:20, this quote would appear.
I always knew that if there was a God, that he, like, why would God make me this way if he didn't accept it, you know? So
Yeah.
I knew that if there was a God, I don't think I would be going to hell.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was born like this, you know?
Yeah. Where do you think that inner like confidence and resilience?
So, yeah, this is such a great way to go back and forth between your content and your video. I think if you just go a video alone, you can get lost and like not know where to go. It's easily to get confused, but your transcript from Depict gives you this great roadmap. Okay, so next, now that we've kind of figured out how to use Depict to start your editing process, I'm going to talk about what kind of structure you might be looking for and how to arrive at a rough cut.